Chris, how much did perhaps the game plan change in the 12th minute of the match with the sending off?
Well, it obviously does. So we have to get that balance right, but than being competitive to being overzealous in our challenges, and of course it did. And I've got to say, if you there's certain teams you don't want to go down to 10 men against, and one of them would be the team that we played this afternoon. So yeah, it obviously altered everything in the game and how the game went.
What have you said to Mason about that challenge?
He's got to get the balance right. Jack Robinson's made challenges like that. They've all made challenges like that. They've just got to get the balance right. So I don't think there's any hiding place in that. It's a mistimed tackle. Whether it's too powerful as people talk about, or however they want to dress it up. The game's moved on. I get it, but it certainly gave yellow card straight away. I think he pulled out, but with VAR it gives them the opportunity of upgrading it, and obviously they did that.
The second other perhaps incident to talk about was the disallowed goal and the process that led to the disallowed goal for Osborne. 2 steps, I suppose. What's your take on that?
Well, all the changes of the rules, you can't keep up. Or should I keep up with them? Yeah, but I've got to say, sometimes I struggle to keep up with them. They say that if it's accidental or it's not a planned pass, a decision made. If it comes off somebody, then it's offside. So, those little tight decisions and fine margins there get us back into the game or give us something to hang on to. I've got to say though, for me the game plan after that had to be sort of contain and try when we could to get up the pitch. I think everybody recognises that you open up against these and anything can happen. So getting to 75, 8 minutes, that's what we talked about. And then we make a decision to open up on it, then we make that decision. We had planned subs to get to 75. Then all of a sudden, I think the issue we've got here, which has happened too many times, is that quick successive goals as well. So at 2-0 up, anything can happen. You go into the last 10 minutes, we bring Ollie McBurney on. We bring Rian on. We've obviously had to make a tactical decision early on in terms of Will coming off and a couple of physical, tactical decisions because players at the moment just can't play right the way through, which is an issue that we're finding. We're certainly not having the rubber of the green from an injury point of view yet again. Lost 2 players before the game, lose Cameron before the game on Friday, and obviously Ben Barrett and Diaz injuries is a big blow to us as well. So yeah, we are up against it, but the decision was to stay in the game and get to sort of 75, 80, and then we make that decision to go for it, and unfortunately we in around that period, as it just feels as if that's the way it is at the moment, they score goals 3 and 4, and then obviously then it's of course it's game over.
How much is it a psychological job, as well as waiting on the injuries, of course, this week with Wolves next week?
It's always a psychological job here in the situation that we're in, raising spirits, raising belief, dealing with knockbacks. It's a tough gig. We all understand that. I think that I've got to say, I thought the supporters were great today. I understood their reaction against Villa. Going 4-0 down after 30, 35 minutes. I totally understood that. I thought they were with us today right the way through and understood. I asked them to understand and stay with us, and they did. And that was with 11 men, so obviously it was going to be double difficult, but we did. Gus's chance when it was 1-0. McAtee obviously was outstanding, ran his socks off, literally. Were bright points for us, but from a psychological point of view, yet again, there's no time to dwell. We have to pick the bones out of it. The goals, some unfortunate goals is some goals from our point of view where we have to do so much better with, allowing forwards to get across us in the box, and then there's an own goal in there, there's a deflected goal in there as well. So these are things that obviously aren't going for us, and as always, you get tested, you get judged in these moments, and we have to show up, we have to dust ourselves down, and all the things that people will talk about in professional football. Don't feel sorry for yourself. No time to point fingers. Let's get on. We've shown, our character in terms of the reaction from the Villa game to the Luton Town game, how difficult it was. Of course, it was an opportunity today to get off the bottom, which we were desperately wanted to do that. We haven't. We have to have another good week in training, and hopefully we can go to Wolves and get a result.
Archer, what happened there then?
Can't believe it. Yeah, he's tightened his calf on Friday. He was in the team. He was ready to go, and then possibly the final part of the training session, he pulled up with a really tight calf. So that was obviously to change everything from that point of view. McBurney, the reason he could only do 5 or 10 minutes for us at the end. So one that we're easing back in and trying to get back in, and hopefully this week we can get more work into him and get him closer to getting back into the group and playing more of a part.
Max Lowe injury
after the season, surgery on a blocked. I don't know if you remember it last week. I think it was Andros Townsend come back on his left peg and smashed across, and Max stuck his leg out to block it, and has done all his ankle ligaments. I think he's potentially in for surgery. Reece out for the season, obviously with his hamstring injury as well. So, the big blows, and it's tough. As I said, it's tough for the players, it's tough for everybody involved. It's tough to be a Sheffield United supporter at the moment. I totally get that, but we have to rally, we have to stick together, and all the things that people talk about to show what you're about as a human being, as a person, and most importantly as a professional footballer.